cutting out sections and trimming it up. I'm going to cut out this section here, I'm going to cut out this part here, and then when I cut this out, I'm going to leave this piece mostly intact so I can make a template out of it. So I can copy this piece right here, weld into here, have the dog leg down in here. Then I can copy the piece coming out this way, and I'm going to copy a piece going this way. This is going to have to come off on the bottom, and then this is going to have to get straightened out a little bit, so I can keep that body line. So I only need a skin coat of filler in it. I don't want to do what they did, you know, almost an inch of filler in it. That's not a good idea. After blasting this whole part here with this portable little blaster from Harbor Freight, get all the rust out of the pits and everything else, and what remains, and you can't get all of it out, I'll take phosphoric acid and douse it all in it so it gets inside the crevices. And then after that, I'll probably use self-etching primer on the inside here, just inside here. And then I'll use probably Eastwood's internal frame coating on the inside, shot through the holes when I get done with the inner structure. You can't use self-etching primer on anything you're going to put body filler on, because the acid reacts with the body filler. You can on the inner structure, because you're not going to do that and you're not going to put any body filler on it. On the outer side, it's a no-no. You can't do that. It'll turn it black. It'll neutralize the rust, basically. Then when I put the other stuff on, the self-etching primer, it'll kill it the rest of the way. I'll get a piece of metal to a general shape like this here, because I'm going to make this drop off there. And I'll weld it in, and I'll shape it as I go. Keep doing that and then bending it to where I want it to go. After making this little corner drop off right here and getting all welded in, round down, I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to put it in here, angled up a little bit, and start welding it to that corner here and this corner here. But before I could do that, I got to make a little flange right here, and then I'm going to have to shrink it over so I can make this turn. I'll probably cut it right here as well so I can make the bottom flange. I keep this little small bending brake modified to my little table here, my computer table, just for this little small jobs. When I have something small to do, so I can put it together and bend something. Relatively easy. I'll continue this process until I get the right radius on my flange. Even though these are cheap, the Harbor Freight ones, well, they used to be cheap, they work okay. Getting there, closer and closer. Now that I got the flange formed in the way I want and it fits the contour, I'll take copper weld through and put it on that and the inside. Anything that has a flange, I want to put some copper weld through. So there will be rosette or spot welding it with the welder. And we'll take this piece and I will start welding it up here. And I will cut it actually on the car and form it as I go. You could do it this way, you could make a pattern if you want, but sometimes they're easier for me to just put the piece on the car and then just take the hammer it in place, make the holes for these access holes that it has here, fold it over and weld it to the bottom. You'll see how it comes out. I'll tack weld it like that all the way around, and then I'll start forming it. I will continuously go around, bend this in, bend the flange in, weld, keep bending, keep cutting, following the contour and shaping it. I even take a carbide burr and put the holes back in. Now that I have the inner structure all welded up on the bottom, on top, all ground down, the holes made in, put it in, the part that is radiused all spot welded and nice and tight, everything's nice and strong. Now I'll use some internal frame coating on the insides and on the outside. I'll leave this, probably I'll be grinding this again to put some copper coat on there and some copper coat on this side here, because that's where the little piece of the quarter panel is going to connect, and it's going to have to grind down right there for copper as well. But this will keep it from rusting from the inside. What I do is I change the nozzle out. There's a jet nozzle on this. When you first get it with a hose, I just switch it for a regular paint nozzle. I can spray inside. Spray this. And whenever I'm going to use copper weld, I'll just grind down whatever this is off of it, so I can get good weld penetration. I shaped it the same way I shaped the inner structure. I welded in, bent it over. I made this flange down here, and then in order to get it a lot tighter, I would just pinch it down with the vice grip and go along with the air hammer and just fold it in. You gotta be careful with the air hammer, it'll split this easily. So you just gotta, you know, just goose the throttle lightly, and be careful, and you'll be all right. Now, in order to make some rosette plug welds in here, I drilled it out, and with a nice sharp drill, I think I'm going to do this one right here. I'll put one right here just at the corner. Oh yeah, slippery. And check it, make sure you don't go all the way through. You just want to break in just a little bit, so when you weld, you actually attach to the other side. There you go. And you see I already did a couple right there. I did one right there. So, you know. After this, I'll just get all this done here. You weld it in, you take your time. You don't want to weld too fast, you'll warp this. If you have to take a blowgun and use a blowgun to blow it. Taking a 3M grinding wheel for welding. These are nice, they last a long time, and they work really fast. You can get those plug welds and you can grind them down. I welded this complete seam shut because I wanted to make sure no water would get in. It's pretty fast. These stones work really quick. You have to be careful, you got to be light on these because it removes the material very fast. Finishing off with a 2-inch grinding pad. All this will be brought down to bare metal, and then I'll be able to put the filler on all the seams. And I'm going to use Dynaglass, which is fiberglass short strand, and that'll waterproof all the seams like right here and right here. This won't need that, but all these will. Okay, cleaned up down to the bare metal Dynaglass. Short strand, kitty hair, whatever you want to call it, fiberglass. It's waterproof when it's cured. This is just to seal all the weld seams. That's all it does. Most of it will end up underground. After the Dynaglass is cured and roughly sanded up, I can take it and put some regular Bondo in there, body filler, lightweight stuff. Sand this down, and we'll shape it. Should be all right then. Next one will be primed and painted and ready to roll. Okay, now that I've got the skim coat on, I've sanded it down, I'm going to spray it with prep ball, wax and grease remover. I'm going to prime it, and then I'm going to put a coat of black paint on it, They don't really want it to match because they're going to take it and they're going to wrap the car. So they're not worried about matching. Well, that's it right there. It's done. They don't want it to match or anything because they're going to wrap the car. So all they wanted to do is make it look good and get rid of the rust, you know. Looks pretty good. Both sides, nice and straight. So hey, that's over. I'm glad. Later. Thanks for watching.